Hello there. Hello, y'all. Christmas, it brings pure magic to the birdhouse. So much so that my husband was even asking me if it could just be December already. So, what if we could create the same magic, excitement, and engagement during the month of July? Sounds pretty dreamy, right? I mean, in this week's episode of the Erin Burd Live Show, we're going to dive into how you can add a little elf magic to your business that will have you singing jingle bells into the new season. Now, y'all, I'm also going to share with you some of the things that we've done around here to make July my second favorite month of the year. But I also have to tell you that July is my birthday month, which means I also have some more fun, big announcements to share with you later on in the show. So if you're joining me, say, hey, Erin, what's up? Let me know that you're here. I always want to know who is with me on our live shows. So say hello. And I want you to know that we like to learn out loud around here. So if there's something that resonates with you, I want you to just drop a little like hashtag takeaway and tell me what it is. That way, for two purposes. When we actually lean in and like write something down, type it out, say it out loud, right? It actually anchors in the idea for you. But also, if you're coming in on the replay and you see someone had a takeaway, you might lean in a little bit closer there, right? And listen up because it probably will resonate with you as well. And if you're new here, y'all, I'm Erin Burd, your hostess with the mostest. And I support dance studio owners and educators to really grow their businesses by creating their own unique vision of success without the burnout, the overwhelm, or sacrificing your personal life so that you can actually have so much joy, so much passion, so much profit, but also so much purpose in your businesses. And so, if you know someone who needs to hear this today, feel free to sprinkle the love around because that could be the biggest gift, biggest present, since we're talking about Christmas in July, that you can give me and to our community. Because the truth of the matter is that we are all actually better together. And so I want to dive right in because here's the thing. What I can tell you that I know is that what we do right now in July will actually dictate our success for the new season, right? So let me know in the comments how many of you are actually like full on planning mode for fall. Or, oh my gosh, Erin, that's been planned out since, you know, May. Or, oh my gosh, Erin, I haven't even started planning yet, or I haven't gotten my schedule out yet. I want to know where you're at because what we do right now actually does dictate our success. Hello there. Hey. So glad to see you this morning. Okay. So I want to go ahead and dive into this idea of Christmas in July. Way behind. That's okay because we're going to talk about some of those things and how we can set ourselves up for success. So you are in the right place, my friend. All right. So let's talk about this idea of Christmas in July. I'm sure that you've heard of it before. I'm sure you've seen, with Amazon Prime Day happening today, right? They're all, and Target's now doing stuff. They're all capitalizing on this idea of Christmas in July. Now, I'm not saying that you need to go out there and do a bunch of whole wacky sales. Y'all, that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is it's our halfway point, right? And so we have to look at the future and be proactive in what we're doing. And how do we create some magic inside of our business in July, not only for us, the studio owner, but also for our community, right? Just because I have a majority planned out, just a few things left to anchor down. Awesome. Okay, so perfect. No matter where you're at in this process, we are going to dive in and we are going to talk about it a little bit more. All right. So let's get to the goods today. So when we're talking about, Christmas in July, how are we creating magic? How are we setting ourselves up for success? We need to talk about a little bit of planning, but we also need to talk about how are we creating magic, right? And also, if you want a copy of today's show notes, let me know. Just drop the word July below and we'll make sure to get those and use our little elf magic and send them your way. But let's talk about the first thing that we need to nail down before we can move forward. And this is something that um, a, it's part of a system that we have and a process that we have inside of our businesses. Is the first thing we do is we want to identify our growth objectives. Now, when I say growth objectives, I am talking about continuing education. How do you want to grow this year as a business owner, as an educator? What, is there something that you've been looking at? You might know, I need a little extra support with XYZ. Maybe it's continuing education for your staff. Maybe it's looking on what is your focus for this season, right? And so we start out with, when we're deciding on our growth objectives, we start out with, well, what is our word of the year? Or what is our word of the season, right? And so we look at that. How many of you have done that practice where you actually look at maybe a word that encompasses what your focus for the season is? Maybe it's enrollment, maybe it's retention, maybe it is communication. It could be it could be revenue. There's so many different words that it could be, right? But we want to actually start out with the decision of how are we going to be intentional about growing this season. And growing doesn't just have to mean your enrollment numbers. Growth comes in many different forms, y'all. So how are we going to grow? And how are we going to support our staff and make sure that they are growing as well, right? What's the saying? If you're not learning, you're dying, right? So we need, or if you're not growing, you're dying. I think that's it. So my point to this is that is our first step right now in July. So have you mapped out what your growth objectives are for this next season coming up? Well, let me know. I want to know. So that's the first thing. Then, if you guys have been around me for a little while, you know that I firmly believe in making data-driven decisions. I believe that we need to have a good grasp on our numbers to be able to decide how we move forward. So the next thing that we have to do is do a deep dive into our numbers. Now, this is where we need to be intentional. We need to set our profit margins. What is it that we want to see happen? Now, if you've already released your tuition scale for the new season, there might be additional things that you're going to have to do to make your profit margin if you have not set that with the intention of alignment with your tuition structure. I hope that makes sense. The other thing that I always like to look at when we're in July, when we're deep diving into the numbers, is making sure that I call it baking it in, like we are folding into our tuition structure. We're folding into our pricing, all the things that we want to see happen, right? We have to bake that into the pricing. We have to make sure that we're aware of this. So let me give you an example. You made an objective that this season you want to take all of your teachers, all of your staff to a dance conference next summer, right? You made that decision because you want to focus on everyone's growth. You want to use it as a time to be a team bonding, team building, right? There's lots of different great things about that. So you've made that decision. Well, that money has to come from somewhere. And if you don't allocate and bake that into your pricing, where's it going to come from, right? It's either going to come from your profit, and I'm not about to cut into my profit, right? I want to bake that into my pricing from the get-go. Maybe it's you want to bake in a week's paid vacation for all your teachers and yourself, right? You want those sort of things. We bake those, we fold them into our pricing to make sure that they are covered as part of our expenses and they are not cutting into our profit margin, right? So we need to do a deep dive into our numbers in July as well. Okay. Now we're going to get into the goods. This is something that we do around here, and I want to really dive into this this point right here is going to be something that I really want you guys to focus on, especially if enrollment is something that you've either A, been struggling with, or B, you're like, I am ready to like get back to it, see my numbers skyrocket. I want to do it. So the next thing we do is we go into our lead generation machine. We need to review how are we consistently going to get leads into our studio this season. So let me know in the comments below, how are you planning on getting new leads into your studio every single week or every single month? Or I mean, sure, there might be times of the year where you're like, whoa, I don't want to have any leads this week, or I don't want, I don't want to bring leads in the week before recital, maybe, or right, like that might be something that crosses your mind. But how are you planning on creating a lead generation machine for your studio? I would love to know in the comments. Let me know. Now, this is where we actually are going to start to create some magic for both sides, for us as a studio owner and for our clients. So we look at things like, how are we going to bring people in? Well, and how are we going to retain our current clients? So we need to look at doing maybe like open house nights, back to dance nights, community events. You guys, here's the thing. I know that a lot of people say like, oh my gosh, you know, I did this community event and it was such a waste of time. I did this booth, blah, 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 and it didn't feel like it was worth my time. And that may have been true if you picked the wrong event. But what I typically find out when I work with my clients is that they may sign up to do a community event and it probably was the perfect fit for them. It had the ideal audience, but they miss the mark when it comes to delivering on their booth and customer journey experience. And so you might think, oh my gosh, doing these booths is a waste of time and a fail. But what I will tell you is that they can actually be highly profitable. I have a client who went and did one community event. It was a weekend event, a 2-day event. And, over the 2 days, she got over, oh my goodness, what was it? It was like 86 trials signed up. And out of the 86, there was like 75 of them actually showed up and signed up for class. But she had a strategy. We set up a system. We thought about the client journey and the experience of the interactions and engagement of this booth, and it works. You just have to have the right strategy and the right plan. So, although some people say, I know there's others out there that say, oh my gosh, stop trying to do the old tactics, booths, and da 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 da. Let me tell you what, if you are a brick and mortar studio owner, you do want to get and be seen out in your community. Engage, talk to people, y'all. It's the number one determiner of success is, are you going to be known as a go-to studio in your area? The only way you could do that is people actually know who you are. And to do that, you have to actually be present and visible in your community. So that's a whole tangent. Then the other thing that we really focus on in July, y'all, is setting up partnerships with other like audience community businesses that have the same audience but are not competitors. So what do I mean by that? We make sure we have partnerships with pediatricians, with pediatric dentists, with right? You guys get that? So we want to have, there are other businesses in your community who serve the same audience. And so you should be forming partnerships with them to get yourself in front of their audience. And of course, it's a partnership. So it should be vice versa. Likewise, it should be a win-win for both parties. But the summer is a great time to form those partnerships, those relationships. And again, you're out in the community. If a parent goes to a pediatrician and they know, like, and trust them, and they see your information at the pediatrician, you instantly you fast tracked their buying decision. because they think, oh, if Dr. So-and-so trusts them, then they're probably pretty good, right? So take the time. And I know it might feel like, Erin, there's never enough time. I have so much going on. You have to decide what's a priority for you. And so for us, we know how beneficial, when done correctly, partnerships can be, right? So that is something else that we focus on during the month of July. Yes? All right. So, how many of you have done some of these? I want to know. Like, let's have this conversation. So, in the comments below, let me know, are you currently, do you have any partnerships with any other like audience businesses, right? I want to know. And do you or are you currently doing community events, right? And the last part of the lead generation machine, I am not going to be one to tell you to omit this, but of course, social media campaigns. The biggest thing is we have to know what our objective is in mind, and we have to reverse engineer and create a marketing plan and a strategy. Um, yes, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you can use this, right? Celebrate, right? It absolutely works. And it's all of these little touches that add up, you guys. People have to see your name, they have to hear about you in many different forms and many different ways before they actually will buy. So it is a great way to accelerate the know, like, and trust factor, right? Is when you partner up with other people who these people already know, like, and trust, right? So, all right. So lead generation machine. I mean, I really want you guys to hone in this next couple weeks, right? We've got another 2 weeks, a little more, left of July, but we need to hone in on this lead generation machine because August is going to be here, which means fall for, it's still summer, but fall season for us here in the US, our school terms, our school years are starting for a lot of us in August. Some still wait until after September, but a lot of them start in August. So July is the time to get your ducks in a row and to create something magical that can work for you when we're intentional. Now, before I go to the last thing for today, that we do, that I wanted to share with you, that we do in July to create some magic, is I want to share with you another announcement. Now, if you've been around a while, you know that July is my birthday month. This month, we have been making some crazy announcements. We kicked off the whole month by announcing that we have transitioned over. You're going to start seeing, we've decided to now be under Dance Studio Empire is going to be our business name, because it is encompassing all of the amazing things that we're going to be offering to you. So we kicked it off. We let you know we have officially changed our name to Dance Studio Empire. We've got all our paperwork back from the government, from the IRS, from all of those sort of things. We're making the shift. We're going to be unveiling our new logo soon. So there's that. We also announced to you that there's the new CRM, which is Pro Studio Manager, which you guys, I'm super excited about, but I'm not going to go deep into detail about that today. But today's huge announcement is I am going to be to celebrate us moving into Dance Studio Empire, to really celebrate this transformation and this shift. We decided to do something that we literally have never done before, right? Starting, I think I actually have it here. Oh, I might be able to show you. Okay, starting, I believe it is, let me see, July 17th, we are going to do 7 days of savings. Now, this is only going to happen this one time because we are so excited about Dance Studio Empire and really celebrating how far we've come, how many clients we've been able to serve, how many studio owners we get to work with every single week. It just fills our heart with so much joy, me and my team. And so we're going to do the 7 days of savings. So this is what's going to happen, and I want you to lean in. Starting July 17th, every single day, I am going to drop one deal for you, right? One deal. It's only good for that day, and there are only a certain amount of them that I am releasing, right? And when they're gone, they're gone. So I would encourage you to do two things. Number one, keep an eye on your email inbox. What is it? Follow on social media to make sure you get what the deals are for that day. And they're going to be things from previous courses that we've done that you may have missed out on a discounted, we're going to let you save on a very deeply discounted. It might be some of our programs. It might be some other amazing things that we have coming up for you. So that is starting July 17th. Mark your calendars, make sure to follow on social media, and make sure you have us on your list for email. And if you are not on our email list, if you'd like, you could either drop your email below in the comments, or if you don't feel comfortable with that, totally understand. Shoot me a message in Messenger with your email, and we will make sure to get you added to our email. So I wanted to share with you the 7 days of savings. I'm super excited about that. It's a big celebration that we're going to be having together, and I cannot wait to see and allow you guys to take advantage of some really good savings. Like we talked about, it's Amazon Prime Day. So celebrate July and August. In August. Holy moly, y'all. July and August is what I just said. Christmas in July. I cracked myself up. Okay, Christmas in July. We will get you on the list, Elizabeth. Christmas in July, we are going to do the 7 days of savings starting July 17th. So keep an eye out for that, because y'all, it's going cuckoo. We're going bananas over here. All right. So let's dive back into what is the last thing that we do every single July to make sure that we are set up for success, that there's some magic happening inside of our business, right? This is key. And it actually kind of ties into all the other things that we've talked about, right? We have to make sure our season calendar is set. And we have to look at being intentional and proactive about what is our goals for each month, right? And you should have a specific goal for each month. And what it is that you're promoting, what it is that you're selling, what it is, like, is this a big enrollment push? Yay, awesome. Is this month a big merch push, right? We're going to be pushing merchandise. That's our focus this month. Is the following month, like, what is it that you're focusing on? And if we are proactive right now in July and get our whole season calendar set with all of the events, with all of the open houses and the back to dance nights, all of our, guys, dare I say it, recital dates, right? Competition team building events, right? The sleepover, the slumber party, the dance-a-thon, all of the things that you want to do for the year. I encourage you, if you have not, get them on the calendar now. Get them on the calendar now. Your recital. Y'all, get your recital on the calendar now. Right now. You can be proactive. You can lay this out. And let me tell you what it does for you is it allows you to work backwards. It allows you to work ahead. It allows you to not feel like you're always scrambling. And when you have it all laid out and it's clear and concise, you lose the overwhelm, you lose the stress, and it gives you that visual representation of how full is your plate going to be. But if we're working reactive and we're like, oh my gosh, I totally haven't even, I still need to book the venue for recital, so I don't know what that is. And, parents, they're complaining that I haven't told them. And the sooner you can give them the information, the better, right? So how many of you have your season calendar set right now? All the things, all the big major chunks, any studio events you're doing, whether it's hey, We're going to do that back to dance, or maybe we're going to have a beach day, or we're going to have a barbecue, or we're going to, right? These are all things that we should be doing. I'm not saying you need to do something every single week, y'all. Again, it's about being intentional. It's about being intentional and having a reason and an objective for everything that we do. And then it's easy to work backwards and to actually lighten your load by working ahead. But unless you know what the deadline is or the dates of things, it's really hard to do that. So, let me tell you, in July, the beginning of July actually, our entire season is set. And that is for our dance business. That's also for the coaching and consulting business. I know every single month what our focus is, because what you focus on grows, and it allows you to work in a place that feels a little calmer. I'm not going to say it's always easy or simple, but you know where you're going. If you're going on vacation, you have to know your destination if you want to get there. I can't drive to the store if I don't know what store I'm going to, right? We need to know, where are we going to? Okay, so we've got the daddy-daughter dance set and we set it for this date. So now we know this is how we work backwards. And then this many days beforehand, we're going to set out the announcement, and this many days we're going to start selling tickets, and this many, right? Yes. We have to know where we're going.